However, what goes on around is after the proposal has been made, we exchange gifts. You know? And we are not talking about small gifts. MashaAllah, some people are so generous. During the courtship time, he might have given you a land title, a valuable one. You know, just to assure you of that. I remember in one of the sessions of a proposal, the man was somehow generous, and he sent a note of 50,000 and said that this 50,000 is just to hear the statement from this lady. You know, just 50,000 to hear maybe Salamu Alaikum. You know, as, you know, look at that. Now what happens here is that during this time we exchange gifts. Some of them are minor, others are major. Some of them are consumable, others are permanent. They are not consumable. You just use them and they continue to be there. What is the Islamic provision on return of gifts in case of retraction? What's the Islamic position on return in case of what? Retraction. Return of gifts, whatever kind of gifts. Our scholars have addressed this in two ways. One, depending on the side of the retractor who withdrew. That is so important to note. The second is the nature of the gifts. We look at who withdrew the proposal, who retracted, and also we look at the nature of the gifts. We have three opinions, and I will give you mine. The first opinion is the opinion of Imam Shafi'i and Imam Malik. For them, they say that once you retract, then you must return all the gifts, you know, that you proposed, whether the gifts are still standing or they were consumed or disposed of. That is their opinion. According to Imam Shafi'i and Imam Malik, for emphasis, they advocate for the full return of all gifts if retraction comes from the side of the proposed, whether gifts still stand or they were even consumed. What do we mean? I proposed you and you have eaten my things. You know? Then later you say, sorry, I have changed. You know? According to the opinion of Imam Shafi and Maliki, you must return all the gifts that you took. Even if you consumed them, including those you consumed, you should pay their equivalent, and those which are standing, you should return them. What is the rationale behind? It is to uphold the community to respecting their words. You know, to respect your words. You had enough time to read my proposal and to accept it or to reject it. This is also closing the door for those who are saying that I'm just detoothing him. So the Islamic requirement, according to the Shafi and Maliki, there is no detoothing. You must pay back. You know, if you cannot pay it willingly, we have the Qadhi's courts, by the way, running at Chibuli now. They can bring you to the Qadhi court, and the Qadhi court is going to pronounce itself that you must pay back the gifts. That is if, and you know, lucky enough, Uganda, we subscribe to the Shafi school of thought. You know? So the Shafi and Maliki, that is their position. Let's go to the second opinion. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal and his school, they say that there is no return of gifts under all situations. That is actually the opposite. And I think that is what is much cheered by the ladies, that there is no return. You know? They are giving you such a comfort zone that consume, at the end of the day when you change, there is no refund. Now, why are they saying this? We have seen the rationale behind the provision of the Shafi and the Maliki. For them, they say, possession prevents return. It's like a legal principle. Once you gift to me this bottle of water and I possess, possession is as simple as when I open and I take the first sip, it means that I have accepted. To them, once possession takes place for the gift, then there is no return. And on that, they even have some ahadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ar-raji'u fi hibatihi kal-kalb ya'kul wa yaqi' wa yarji' fi qay'ihi." A person who demands that his gifts should be paid back is like a dog that eats, then it vomits, then after that it goes back to eat into its own what? Vomits. That's how they look at it. So according to the Hanbali school of thought, there is no return under all situations. This takes us to the third opinion, that is of the Hanafi. We said that we have three opinions. First, no return. So first, full return. Second, no return at all. The Hanafi categorize. They say there is no return in case of consumed or destroyed gifts. There are some gifts. He one time took you to Cafe Java's and you took the what? The chicken and what? The what? The chips and chicken. Then you are supposed to refund this? To the Hanafi, the consumed ones should not be returned because they are already taken. But those which are standing, those ones should be returned. These are the three opinions. If my class asks me, which of the three opinions do you take? I will say, if I am the one who has given the gifts, and in many cases, by the way, we give out gifts as gentlemen and we face the retraction from the ladies, to me I will say, behave like a gentleman. Don't ask for the refund of the gifts. That is my opinion. Because first of all, when you go to demand for the gifts, you are lowering yourself. The spirit in which you gave them out, it was a spirit of love. If someone had disappointed you, behave like a gentleman, let it pass. The same applies, by the way, these days, ladies gift more than we do. So if you feel that someone has actually disappointed you, leave it. وَاحْتَسِبْ أَجْرَكَ إِلَى اللَّهِ. Consider that as one thing that inshallah you will find on your account before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, are you not ashamed to stage a misunderstanding in the community every time you were seen at the woman's home? I have come here to demand for my what? For my gifts. By the way, once you behave like that, you are also closing doors for other people who might be interested in you. That man, if you choose to go with him, please, you should know. So, behave generous, behave like a gentleman, let it pass. After all, you gave it in a good spirit, and inshallah, Allah will reward you. Also, I must quickly add, we need to purify our intentions when we are dealing with this. Wallahi, it could have been better when you are giving out gifts, give it out with the sincere intention of pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if she retracts, if she disappoints, you have not lost.
But have you ever been disappointed in this thing?